Hi, good to see you again. I'm Graham Martin, I'm the Recruitment Guy. You know, recently I recorded a series of videos about communication skills for different personality types. There was the D, the I, the S and the C. So I've decided on the back of various requests for more information, but in particular not just about communication skills but how to work with people like this, to record a little bit more about specific strategies for working with different personality types. It's part of the same series, which is why I'm wearing the same shirt. But rather than being at my friends in Yorkshire, at Roger and Rachel's barn, I'm down here at our office in North London, Enfield, UK. So here we go. First off, how do you actually deal with a high D at work? Now actually, I know quite a lot about this because I'm a high D, although I know how to modify my behaviour to manage to interact with people that are not a high D. So if you're going to come and talk to me, if you're going to communicate with me, make sure you've got your facts right. Make sure you've got your bullet points and be ready for a pretty quick conversation. I might want more information from you, but I'll probably give you a very quick decision. Now, if you've got a high D that is a boss, you know what? Sometimes they'll appear blunt, rude, arrogant. But of course, people like me, we just tend to think that we are focused and concentrating on the matter. So joking aside though, if you are working with high Ds, expect them to be really to the point. They want the facts, they want to move on to the next point really quickly. They'll often have lots of things going on at any given time. Maybe it's the number one priority for you, but maybe it's number 5 for them. So you might need to wait for them on occasion. If you are managing a high D, now that's a slightly different setup, because if you're not a high D yourself, managing a high D can be quite difficult. High Ds like to be in charge, they like to be in control. They like to be the ones with the power in the relationship. So if you've got somebody that's working with you or working under your wing, if you're supervising or managing them, be careful. And remember, they're not being rude, it's just their communication style. So next, the high I. How do we work with high Is? Now, if you've got a high I who's a boss, and I've got a colleague, a co-director who is a high I, you know what? It's all about them. Now, I'm not being rude or cheeky, but the reality is they're very, very self-image centred in terms of the way they see the world. They see it very much through their eyes the whole time. Now, that means that you've got to be able to see it from their point of view, and you need to talk to them about their issues, how it affects them, and how doing something can benefit them, their position or their department. Now, I'm not saying that you should flatter people politically, but remember, recognition of their achievements goes a long way in getting their favour and their support. So do think about that. When you start talking to a high I, and you should notice a high I because they're going to be dressed smartly, flamboyantly, maybe they have an office with lots of pictures and images or awards around, but the high I, often they're in directorship roles, sales roles. They like to be in charge, but they like to be in front of the camera. They like to be in front of people. They like to be in a situation whereupon they can influence others around them. So I hope that helps with the high I. So, the high S. How do we deal with the high S? Well, if you've got a high S as a boss, they're probably going to speak somewhat more slowly and more carefully. And for them it's all about values, it's about ethics, it's about stability, it's about doing the right thing and finishing one thing before you move on to the next. So if you're managing a high S, give them time to bed in, give them time to settle, and please don't upset the apple cart. They don't like being moved in the office, they don't like new systems, they don't like new procedures. For them it's very much the status quo. They will be your best ally, but do not betray their trust, because betraying the trust of a high S is the worst thing you can do. And in fact, the lady filming this, the lady behind the camera, is a high S, and for her it's about stability, it's about congruence and doing the right thing. The money's important, but it's about a sense of family values and being part of something. Now, if you've got high S people under your wing, give them time, give them the support. If you're training and inducting them, give them enough time to work out what the values of the business are, because that's really important to them. So last, but certainly not least, is the C. Now, the high C is about compliance, it's about process, it's about detail. These people, not always, but often will be in technical roles, accounting, analysts. think of something where there's a lot of detail, a lot of precision. Now, some people confuse the high D with the high C. Now, the high C will often talk quite slowly. Not always, but often. They'll also dress in a sense that kind of fits in, doesn't stand out. So if in the UK, think of a dark blue Marks and Spencer suit, or if we're in the US, Brooks Brothers, white shirt, blue shirt, dark tie. It's going to be a style which doesn't stand out. If you've got a meeting with a high C, please make sure you've got all the detail. Be ready for a long conversation, but very, very relevant. So you've got to make sure you're prepared and be prepared to spend time. And if you're presenting in a sales situation to a high C, you've got to make sure you've got your facts right, because they'll go through your terms of business with a fine-tooth comb. If you're supervising and developing or training a high C person, they will keep asking why. They'll want to know the questions. How does this work? Why do we do it like that? It's not they're being awkward. It's just simply they need to know the infinite detail. The great thing about working with a high C is that their workplace will invariably be very, very neat and very tidy. That's one way that you can identify a high C. The high S, how do we identify somebody by their workspace? Well, that's quite easy. And again, I'm looking through the camera at the lady that's behind the camera. She is an absolute high S. She's got a pink keyboard, she's got a pink mouse, she's got a pink stapler with her name across it. There's things around Natasha's desk that make you know that that's her workspace. And woe betide you if you walk off with it. The high I, again as I alluded earlier, it's about thinking of their workspace being an extension of their ego, of their ability to impress. So, maybe they've won an award, they've got a prize, they'll probably have a mug with their own name on it, and they'll probably have some kind of trophy watch or some jewellery on their person. And the high D, well, the high D doesn't mind where they work. They'll probably be working out the back of their car, or let's say a cab, or maybe on a desk. They don't need an office to show their sense of self-importance or their sense of self-identity. So I hope that helps. That's a few tips, not only about how to recognise personality types in the workplace, but also how to work with people like that, and also how to manage them. If you've got any specific queries, email me. These days I've got a lot of people asking me for information and further facts and figures. Well, more than happy to support you with that. So by all means get back to me. That's Graham Martin, the Recruitment Guy, and you can email me help@therecruitmentguy.com. So that's it for now. I look forward to seeing you again. Bye for now.